They believe someone took him. They have a consideration that they're willing to look at other, they told me they're willing to look at other explanations, but in their heart and soul they believe that he was stolen. About 7 p.m. on the 14th, a family from Carthage, Tennessee, were on the exit side of the loop road, a man and his children, and they were trying to photo the deer. They were following the deer up Rowan's Creek, and they heard a child scream. The father ran up there, and he saw a man dart into the woods, and he described him as unkempt or unclean, unkempt, rough-looking, and they never saw the child, though. But if you're a parent, you know a child scream. Searchers that were searching the headwaters of West Prong, about 1.5 miles down on the old CC Trail, above the CC Trail on the headwaters of West Prong. West Prong is right in under Spence Field on the Tennessee side. They picked up some sign, and they were local fellows, and I believe what they found, I believe they told the truth. I know them personally. They would not lie. They come along and they found a footprint of a little Oxford shoe in the mud, and one of them took a stick and broke it and measured the length of it and the width of the heel, and he said it was of a little boy. That's part of the failure of things, is not recognizing reasonable assumptions, about how far someone can travel.
From Yosemite to the Grand Canyon, some of America's crown jewels are its many national parks. But there is a darker side to this unspoiled and stunning wilderness, the fact that since the National Park Service was set up in 1916, over 1,000 Americans have vanished without a trace on its grounds. Just where have these people gone? In many cases, it is difficult to say. The National Park Service leaves it to local law enforcement to track and solve or file away as cold the cases of people who have gone missing. And since there is consequently no federal database of people who have disappeared on these federal lands, it is difficult to track any trends or commonalities in their disappearances. Of course, some of the cases of missing persons can be explained by tragic accidents that are inherent risks of exploring the great outdoors, such as succumbing to an animal attack, falling from the peak of a mountain, or being exposed to extreme weather. But as for the rest, cryptozoologist and former police detective David Pollitt has a different theory. Pollitt was interested in all the cold cases involving the National Park Service and began compiling and sifting through what data he could collect to look for trends. What he found intrigued and disturbed him. Pollitt was particularly interested in cases where people appeared to simply vanish into thin air. He noticed that in many of the cases of these missing persons, there were search and rescue dogs brought in to investigate the disappearance who either could not or would not perform their typical duties. There were a number of these disappearances that happened near berry patches and boulders, and still more in which people were found at much higher altitudes than those at which they disappeared. In one such case, a toddler was found dead 12 miles, 19 kilometers, from where he vanished, over 2 mountain ranges and numerous creeks. What does Pollitt think happened? He is a believer in Bigfoot, a hybrid between a human and a black bear, and points to the mysterious circumstances of these unsolved cases as potential evidence for these creatures' existence. Others point to the Wendigo, an evil spirit from Algonquin folklore who terrorizes woods and forests. Of course, there are plenty of skeptics of the paranormal theories of these disappearances, but whether you believe them or not, it certainly goes to say that the unsolved cases in America's national parks are enough to make you think twice before packing your bags for a trip.